y'all doing? Happy Sunday. Glad you took a moment to join me. I figured I'd come out here and do a little strolling, catch a little water. Today's subject is going to be about communication and particularly about listening. So one of the questions that came up this week was, why am I having difficulties with trying to communicate with my partner, and another person was communicate with their child? And then when I watched their communication styles, I realized that they kind of sort of forgot the basics. Now, one of the ones that I got from my grandma way back long time ago is she said, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You should be listening twice as much as you're speaking. And I actually had to go look that up, and supposedly that comes from a Greek philosopher, Epictetus. The other part is I had learned lessons along the way from some of the greats that I figure were in communications and sales. One of them was Dale Carnegie, and the other was Zig Ziglar. And between the two of them, they make reference to the idea that it's very difficult for people to listen. And listening is half of the communication, and it's usually the half that is ignored. The other problem is listening is difficult when you are spending all your time trying to figure out your reply. You're not listening, you're thinking. So when you're doing social work, when you're doing therapy, stuff like that, one of the things that they work real hard to teach you to do is to listen and reflect. Not prejudge, not try to come up with an answer, not try to figure out specifically what's going on, what's going to be your snappy reply, your point, your direction, what you're trying to get them to do. Hopefully what you're going to do is work towards what Buddhists will call compassionate listening. Compassionate listening is about hearing what the other person has to say and being with them. So here we go with that fun old mindfulness stuff again. Being mindful of what you're doing is also being mindful of what the other person is talking about. So taking the time when someone's saying something to you to actually just sit and be silent, hear what they have to say. When people do that, then they feel heard and they feel that the other person actually is connecting to them. And oftentimes, if you let a person talk through what's going on in their head, they're not necessarily looking for a solution, and they surely don't want to be told what to do. How do you like being told what to do all the time? It just ain't what you want. You want to feel like the other person feels what you feel. They understand you. And that only comes about when people actually take the time to talk, and the other person listen, then the other person talks, and you listen. It's like ping pong again. It's that communication style where you're not trying to take over the whole conversation, but you're actually trying to let the other person say what they have to say. Basically, sometimes you might do what motivational interviewing calls this reflective listening, where when someone says something, you try to sum it up to make sure you understand it, and you hone in on a little bit. Because sometimes the words that you're hearing, the way you use them might not be the same way the other person is trying to present them. So it is okay to elaborate what the person says and go, if I heard you right, or if I'm hearing you, or if I understand, or if I'm seeing things this way, and you let them know what you heard so that they can tell you yes, or they can adjust you. Because those kinds of questions actually let the other person know that you are listening. Compassionate listening and active and reflective listening, they're not about you just sitting there going, yeah, yeah. And that kills a conversation real quick. So what you got to do is take the time to actually pay attention to other people and relax. Take in a deep breath and just hear what they have to say. Sometimes if it helps, I tell people, if you have things that you want to say back or points you want to make, then write them before the conversation. Or if something comes up so bad that you have to talk about it while it's going on, make a little note, just a quick one, specific subject, so that you can then, once the person's through talking, look at your note and then form your question. If you're spending your time focused on your own mind about what it is you want to say, then you're not focused on the other person. Again, you can see that really clearly if you look at it almost like a point. If you're focused out here on this person, then you're listening to them. But if you're focused in here in your own mind, You're not hearing things clearly. And the other thing is if you already have an opinion, a point of view, and this is where MBT, mentalization-based treatment, comes in, teaching you to have a playful curiosity, to be able to just wonder what the other person is doing, and to sort of relax and be curious, and to be calm and to let them talk. And then as you have that curiosity in you, you start to gather information. As I've said before in other videos, one of the things that I've watched happen that really drives me up a wall quick is when the other person starts making suggestions, telling the other person what to do, and they haven't even asked for any information. They haven't gathered any information. So taking the time to listen to the other person and really, really hear what they have to say and really absorb it will allow for better communication. Dale Carnegie will tell you that the best way for people to think that you are a good listener and a good person to talk to and a great conversationalist is basically to shut up. Let the other person pick something they're interested in and talk and ask questions about what it is they do. And they will walk away feeling very connected to you. When you do NLP, the idea of reflecting and sort of joining with the other person when they talk, it's like a dance. And as you start to sit like them and listen to them and think like them, you start to feel what they feel and understand them at a deeper level than just the basic words. A lot of times, listening is a whole picture. It's not just about what they say, but how they say it, the tone they say it, the cadence of their speech. Does it change? How their body's moving. Relaxing and being aware of all those things while they talk allows you a deeper and better understanding. So I hope that helps you to practice some of those techniques next time you're having a conversation with somebody. Instead of trying to make your point, instead of trying to come back and pound them with questions, just listen to what they have to say. Ask for clarity if there's something you don't understand or if you're not sure of. If you've listened for a while, you summarize real quick and go, is this what I heard? And then relax and let it go. Walk away from a few conversations this week without trying to tell them your point of view, without trying to be insightful or witty. Just listen and see how it affects your relationships. Thank you. I hope y'all have a great Sunday. I appreciate y'all being here with me today. Thank you.